Today, still expecting my guest. We're going to be talking on A's and Nays today about some of the holes that Nigerians have picked in the verdict of the presidential elections. Yes, the Presidential Tribunal, the PEPT. Yes, we're going to be looking at the loopholes that many people have, pointed to. But then many are also saying that maybe the National Assembly has its job cut out for it in terms of looking at the Electoral Act closely again. So my guest is a lawyer. He's going to be telling us if there really is a need for that to be done. Do we really need to amend the Electoral Act all over again? Should we be looking at some of these loopholes to plug them? Are there things we need to add into the Electoral Act stemming from all of the judgments and verdicts that have been given via tribunals? Now, we know that the latest from for the governorship tribunal is that of Kano State, and several others have also enjoyed, either for or against them. Most importantly, in Kano State, right after the verdict was given, the governor who's been sacked had given a 24-hour curfew to make sure that there is some seeming peace and calm, because, of course, there would be tension right after these judgments. But the recent judgment of the Presidential Election Tribunal for the February 25, 2023 elections in Nigeria has remained a talking point, like I said, for both those in Nigeria and those in diaspora. It has continued to be interrogated by various groups ranging from lawyers to political analysts to human rights activists and several other people. It has also presented a fresh challenge to the country's democratic experience. The ruling has raised fresh concerns about the suitability of the 2022 Electoral Act that's been amended. Now, the Electoral Act offered a lot of hopes for many, leading up to this election. It promised a lot of Nigerians, that so many things would change before the elections. However, the PPT's judgment has now, made Nigerians somewhat think that they've discovered that there are lots of loopholes in this Electoral Act, and that there is a need for the National Assembly to revisit the law and make certain provisions clearer. Now, for instance, the issue of swearing in of elected political officers into, various offices while they still have electoral cases in the election petition tribunals is one area that so many Nigerians felt was not properly addressed in the Electoral Act of 2022. So when my guest comes in, he's going to tell us exactly, because you see, most people will tell you that the law is subject to interpretation. Many have also raised issue about the FCT and the 25% votes. All of those issues we're going to address here and put them to bed. And we're also going to find out if the National Assembly would be interested in taking another look at the Electoral Act to revisit it and, of course, amend it. But in doing all of that, we're going to be asking also my guests if there will be that willingness to push for it, whether Nigerians will be carried along, whether the will of the people will be sought in maybe readdressing or amending the Electoral Act of 2022. Hopefully my guest is very close. Lagos has happened to my guest. Apparently he got stuck in traffic. Hopefully he gets here, and in a bit we will get to this conversation. Now, there's also that general belief, guys, that, once somebody has been sworn in, it is usually extremely very difficult, or if not impossible, to get the person out of office through, election tribunal judgments, especially for a president. Those who hold this view have argued that, the normal thing in other climes is that all these election cases have to be done and dusted before the day of swearing in. But in Nigeria, the case is different. And we've seen it play out many times. In the case of Osun, we've seen it happen in Imo State. And now Kano is the most recent example. And so these are some of the issues that Nigerians are asking questions and need to be addressed. So hopefully my guests can come in and would look at all of that. I did listen to many people, talk about the reactions on the first hour about the Kano elections, and many people were saying, well, this is just a joke, you know. How can also, because this conversation is not just about the National Assembly. Yes, the National Assembly is there to make laws, enact them, but of course the judiciary is there to interpret that law and get and bring justice to the people. Now, like I always say, some people say justice has been served. Some other people say no, justice has been truncated. And it can be interpreted in so many ways. That is why we need this 30 to 40 minutes of education as to what the law says, and if the legislature will indeed come in this first tenor of the president, or rather the APC, if the National Assembly be considering, a revisit of the Electoral Act. And we know how long it took Mr. President to sign this Electoral Act into law. How Nigerians pressured former President Muhammadu Buhari to make sure that this was signed into law. We know how many times he sent it back and said, "Oh no, fix this, fix that." So again, is it time? Because many people who have also reacted are talking about the timeliness. Many people are saying it's early, still early in the day. Can we start looking at it now? But then there are those who are saying there's so many things that the legislature needs to preside over, not the Electoral Act. But then should we wait till election, season to begin to start pushing for it, or just before the elections? Is now a better time to have that conversation, to start going to lobby, members of the National Assembly to see if they can start taking a look at it, if there are indeed loopholes, or these are just, make-believe loopholes because certain people are aggrieved, or that the law didn't swing in their favor. But if you want to join the conversation, and let's just talk quick while we wait for our guests to join the conversation. 0700 993 993 993 is A's and Nays on Hard Facts. And unfortunately, Lagos has happened to my guest, and he's stuck somewhere. Hopefully he gets here in a bit. 0700 993 993 993. Is it best that we start early to push to the National Assembly to start lobbying for CSOs, for CLOs, for faith-based organizations? Because we saw all of these people come together just before the elections, in February and in March, push for the Electoral Act to be signed into law, to make sure that, all the things that needed to be done. But can we start early and not wait until, it's close to another election cycle for these things to be done? Hello. Good evening. Welcome to Hard Facts. Hello. Oh, goodness. Do call us back if you can. Hello. Good evening. Welcome to Hard Facts. I think the phone lines are still bad. Unfortunately, I do not know. We'll just keep trying if we can hear you. Hello. Welcome to Hard Facts. Nazif, you need to help us. Our phone lines are still bad. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts. Can you hear me? Ah, dear. I'm so sorry, guys. I know that your calls are coming in, but we can't hear you, and I'm sure you cannot also hear me. So we'll just keep trying to see if we can fix those lines now. I'm so sorry about that. Yeah, the calls are coming in, but we can't hear you, unfortunately. I don't know what the problem is, but I'm so sorry. I see all your calls coming. I apologize for the whole of today's show and our inability to take all your calls. Apologies. I'm apologizing on behalf of all of us. Please do not be angry. But we will try and see if we can fix that so that you can get your calls across. All right. Let's see if we can take this. But you can send a WhatsApp message. You can send us a message on our WhatsApp portal. You can tweet at Nigeria Info 99.3 on Twitter. Just use the hashtag Hard Facts. Would like to hear from you. Okay. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. Right now, guys, I can't hear you when you call me. I can't hear you. And I'm so sorry about that. So you can send me a WhatsApp message if you cannot get through to me on the phone lines. Okay. I'm sorry. You're still calling, but I don't think I can hear you and you can hear me. So sorry. But if you can you hear me? Hello? Still not working. Sorry, guys. All right, we'll rest the phone lines for now and see what we can do with our social media. So you can send me a message on Twitter, or you could join the conversation on WhatsApp. Let me give you the WhatsApp number so you can call us. rather, you can send us a message. You can't call us on WhatsApp, please. Right now, the phone lines are down. We're going to get our engineers to fix that. We've been battling with the phone lines all day. Hopefully, something is done about it so that we can get to hear what you have to say about this, because this conversation is very important to not just you, but to me and the rest of us. On WhatsApp, you can just send us a message, 0809 75805. That's 0809 75805. Send us a WhatsApp message, because unfortunately, if you try calling us right now, we cannot hear you and you cannot hear us. So send us a WhatsApp message. We're going to be talking. Hopefully, my guest can get here before our time is totally up. He's stuck somewhere on this Ozumba axis. I don't know what's happening, but hopefully you can get here in time for us to have the conversation. But then, like I said, too many angles to this. And just as the verdicts are coming in, more and more holes. Oh, finally, my guest is here. Thank goodness. More and more holes are being picked in the, Electoral Act. Many are asking if really we need to revisit the Electoral Act of 2022 and if it can be amended. My guest is here. Barrister Emmanuel Umoren is joining us. So sorry about the traffic jam. Well, Lagos happened to you. Welcome. Thank you. So the question that everybody's asking, do we need to revisit? Yes. Do we need to revisit the Electoral Act? Do we need to readjust it? Or is it just the way that, these judgments were interpreted? Or are there any loopholes?
I think the Electoral Act is clear. The issue we have is issue of interpretation.
Okay.
I was, after you invited it this morning, I remembered when we were in school, the 1979 Constitution. There were two provisions that were fantastic. One talked about the principle of governance. And unfortunately, the Supreme Court interpreted that section as non-justiciable. That is not something you can ask court to determine whether to provide schools. Because I recollect those days, Archbishop Okoje, who was the Bishop of Lagos, went to court to determine the rights of people, of children to go to school and have good education. The Supreme Court held that section of the Constitution was non-justiciable. And then there's the other thing of locus standi. Another important case, Adesanya and Senate President. The issue of locus standi was used to kill down a lot of litigations. So, yeah, I would have thought that the court would have asked itself, if INEC spent 350 billion to give us electronic voting and they did not deliver, what is the consequence? What's the economic consequence? You see, it's a major problem.
But isn't that a case on its own? Because the courts were looking at the petition that was before them.
Yes, but when you have promised people something, it's a contract. It's a social contract. It's also a legal contract. What good the law is meant to make to create better society, good of the society. You get the law is supposed to be a tool for developing the society. That is part of what we're taught. Now, where the law is made to hold back, you see, it took some time. When you had Balarabe Musa and NPN, the Supreme Court said that issue of impeachment of governors that the courts were excluded from discussing issues of impeachment of governors. But when it happened in 2003 to Eladoja, the Supreme Court, this same Supreme Court, now came and said, no, the court has to look at the constitutionality of it, the breach of fundamental rights of persons. You understand? So the same Supreme Court that was started looking at things differently in developmentally now saw that you cannot lock out use thugs or the police to lock up the State House of Assembly and impeach a governor there, or lock out some people who would have stopped you from impeaching if there was a clear vote. You lock them out. Then you now say, oh, the court cannot look at it. The court said, look, we have to look at the fundamental rights of these people. Was the governor given fair hearing? You understand? That is how they went in and looked at it and determined that the time that they sat was not the time that they should have sat. You want to impeach somebody, you cannot go to the marketplace or some juju shrine to go and impeach a governor. You understand? They're supposed to, like the courts. I cannot take you to the Supreme Court in my village and say the Supreme Court of Nigeria. You must go to the Supreme Court. You understand? I cannot go to the High Court of Akwa Ibom State and declare it the Supreme Court of Nigeria. You understand? The structure is part of the authority of that place. So these are the problems.
So let's go back to this case in itself, because many people are saying that maybe it's time that the legislature looks at, how we've crafted this Electoral Act, especially the swearing in, the timing of these cases. Should they not be done with before a person is sworn in? Well, because that's been an argument that's been ongoing.
Yeah, but you see, it started from 1999. You see, Nigeria creates problems. In Ghana, they had issues of contested presidential election, and the election was held on Thursday. By Monday, the Supreme Court had decided, because the president was to be sworn in on Monday evening. The Supreme Court had decided. The Supreme Court gave the petitioner 2 days, gave the respondent 1 day, and gave the petitioner to reply. That's including Sunday. And they adopted their briefs on Sunday, and by Monday, the Supreme Court gave a judgment. That is Ghana next door. Nigeria is the big brother. Is the big brother in Africa. All the best brains are in Nigeria. Why are we creating problems for ourselves? Why can we, if we do elections in February, why do we have to wait till November to determine finally? The president, whoever is sworn in, is not even sure. Look at what happened now in Kano State. The man would not be able to face governance anymore. And the resources of state will be used to defend his office, because that is what others do.
Well, he's been sacked. He doesn't necessarily have access to the resources of the state.
No, he's not been sacked. They say he's gone, but he has a right of appeal.
They've told him to. They've retrieved the certificate of return from him, and they're going to give it to the other man.
He has the right of appeal.
But then he will not be sitting there as governor.
He will. We've had it before. Yes, in Cross River, your state, when Liali Muke was sacked. He sat there and contested the election. So here is the problem. There are so many of these that have happened in our jurisdiction. So in our country. So the issues that we look at, I am very, very pained that our country that is so blessed with some of the best brains in this world, some of the most aggressive thinkers in this world. We use our hands to pull ourselves down. We are drowning and we are pulling ourselves down. We don't want to leave. We don't want to lift ourselves off the.
We'll have to go for a quick break. We'll be right back and continue this conversation. Stay with us.
My people, make a this story. Make a things where I have done for me.
join 911 or through Hatch and follow yourself freely on ice of our 9
Now's the time to travel into Auckland will go Carter Airways. Make your travel dreams into reality and enjoy savings of up to 20% to more than 160 destinations worldwide. Terms and conditions apply. Book by 24th December for travel until 31st March 2024 at carterairways.com. Terms and conditions apply. Carter Airways, going places together.
My children are athletes. From the moment they wake up, they keep playing and learning. So, when I pack the new Milo NS snacks into their lunchbox, I'm giving them a delicious snack with the goodness of malt, milk, cocoa, and crunchy Niger-grown maize containing calcium, iron, and fiber.
Milo NS Snacks, snack of future champions to help your kids refuel and keep winning all day. Milo, energy to go further.
Milo! Use Vaseline to moisturize, and your skin will be bright and just right. Vaseline is good for you from head to toe to make your skin glow. Make sure you rub your hands, oh yeah. Make sure you rub your legs, rub your face, oh yeah. Thanks to Vaseline, everything's so smooth. Everything's so soft. Vaseline, everything's so smooth.
For chapped lips, diaper rash, damaged skin, and a moisturizer to keep your skin smooth, use Vaseline daily for a healthy, shining skin. Experience the healing power of Vaseline.
Uncle Dentist, what are cavities? And how does Colgate protect my teeth from cavities? Does it use Kung Fu?
No, dear. Most tooth pains are caused by tooth holes called cavities. When you brush daily with Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection, its expert formula locks natural calcium in our teeth and helps protect them from cavities.
It's time to upgrade to the world's most chosen toothpaste, Colgate, because Colgate locks calcium in.
Colgate is recommended by the Nigerian Dental Association.
When you're in 9 Mobile, Niger's own network, you get rewarded for asking for more. So whenever you need more data to stream your favorite movies and music, or to play the latest blockbuster games, 9 Mobile has got you covered with 8 GB for just 1,500 naira, 9.5 GB for 2,000 naira, and many more. So join 9 Mobile now or dial *301# to choose any of our reliable and affordable plans to express yourself freely on Niger's confirmed network. 9 Mobile, here for you, here for Niger.
This house will implement spending cuts on household essentials. First, cable subscription from premium to standard.
Aye.
Now, 3 crowns milk from...
Don't touch us, 3 crowns milk, oh.
Why?
Mom sacrifices a lot, and 3 crowns milk nourishes Mom so that she can support our family.
Moms are our treasures beyond measure. So treasure Mom with low cholesterol 3 crowns milk today. 3 crowns milk. Healthy moms, happy families.
Mom, are you going shopping?
Yes, darling.
Can you get me a Capri Sun beach ball, please, Mommy?
For sure. Wait, where do I get a Capri Sun beach ball?
There's a free beach ball inside every carton of Capri Sun, Mom.
That's right. The Capri Sun Beach Ball promo is here. There's a free beach ball inside every carton of Capri Sun. Terms and conditions apply.
Capri Sun. The taste of fun.
Hey, my people, how na day? We know the times don't hard, but higher thermocool don't day for Nigerians them. What a reliable fridge, freezer, or any other appliances. So
higher thermocool day for you.
What an option where the last kakaraka.
Higher thermocool day for you.
What an appliance when they consume too much electricity.
Higher thermocool day for you.
And now, higher thermocool don't land with another promo. What them call?
We day for you.
From the 15th of August, go reach 31st October. If you buy anything for higher thermocool, them go summer you a woof on top. Hi! Free standing cooker, free microwave, free air fryer, free AC installation, and even more woof day. For more Tori, visit any authorized dealer or www.thermocool.com.ng. Make yourself begin enjoy your own woof. Terms and conditions there too. Oh. Higher Thermocool, always there for you.
Hey yeah, now Rabbi, with Rabbi, but it's strong, my mouth is fresh, it clean well, oh, now Rabbi, strong teeth Rabbi, fresh bread Rabbi, 24/7 with Rabbi, strong teeth Rabbi.
Give on our teeth 24 hours protection. Use Oral-B today. The Nigerian Dental Association. Tanda Gidigba with Oral-B.
Sometimes it costs little to do much, just like it doesn't cost much to live the 5G life with the new Samsung A14 5G smartphone. All of 5G's wonders, like super super-fast downloads, buffer-free streaming, and seamless video calls are yours to explore. Simply visit any Samsung or partner retail store nationwide to buy the affordable Samsung A14 5G smartphone and get up to 30 gig data over the next 3 months and start living your imagination.
Airtel, a reason to imagine.
Hey, this woman we won't scatter our nose with this correct soup aroma. Now for here you go to show yourself happy. Golden Penny Semovita Soup Festival don't come. You don't go register.
Wetin be that?
Now Golden Penny Semovita Soup Festival team na my soup's first choice. Register on www.gpsoupfestival.com as vendor or for the cooking competition to win amazing prizes. It will happen for Murio Kola Park on the 7th and 8th of October 2023, 10 a.m. prompt. Powered by Golden Penny Semovita, my soup's first choice.
This house will implement spending cuts on household essentials. First, cable subscription from premium to standard.
Aye.
Now, 3 crowns milk from...
Don't touch her 3 crowns milk, oh.
Why?
Mom sacrifices a lot, and 3 crowns milk nourishes mom so that she can support our family.
Moms are our treasures beyond measure. So treasure mom with low cholesterol 3 crowns milk today. 3 crowns milk. Healthy moms, happy families.
Get in on the action with Betano, your exciting destination for thrilling sports betting. Enjoy an award-winning experience with amazing betting options, cash out, and missions, as well as other features. Join now and get a welcome bonus of up to 100,000 naira. Betano.ng. The game starts now.
No matter what I do, you love me unconditionally. You show up for me every day, no matter when I show you.
A mother's love is unconditional. Nothing serves this love better than a bowl of Indomie. So, show some love with Indomie.
You are listening to your number one station for talk.
Your number one station for talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk. This is Hard Facts.
All right, Lagos, it's still Hard Facts, 99.3 Nigeria Info. Unfortunately, we have very little time, and I feel sad because my guests had to go through so much to get here today. But we will have this conversation again next week. We haven't even scratched the surface because we need to talk about, some of the issues like we scratched the surface of swearing in and making sure that these cases are dealt with before the swearing in, but then there's so many other issues like the 25%. I want you to take time to explain it to the audience, because the people who are still holding on to that fact that since the verdict has gone in this direction, it means that maybe Abuja needs a governor, they need to start voting as a state. But then all of that, we need to break it down, because I see the look on your face like, But there are people who need to understand, it's not enough for us to do voter education. We also need to break down the Electoral Act to the understanding of the average person, so that when we're making these arguments, we make it from a place of knowing.
Yeah, I agree with you absolutely. The main thing is that there are also a lot of emotions because unfortunately INEC promised so much and delivered so little. The issues, I always tell people, the facts is the facts that the law relates with. Not the law does not, is the facts that the law sits on.
Okay.
So the facts that are there. So the issue of, like I said, we need to hold on until the Supreme Court decides. Yeah, the Supreme Court has to give a final decision on this matter. And that is when we know where we are, really. We've done matters where we think it cannot change. But surprisingly, you get to the Supreme Court and you say, people look at it, no, it's not right. I'll tell you, there was a strong argument I had in a criminal matter, and the Court of Appeal refused, and the Supreme Court has taken up that. And even though it's an obiter, but they've seen what we have all of us have been saying, and some judges have abused us. Oh, you can't say that. That's not possible. So,
so we wait.
I think we should. Nigerians should believe in the Supreme Court.
Okay.
The Supreme Court will do something. I hope so. But I am not saying that
magic is going to happen.
Magic is going to happen. It depends on the facts and what is laid. Because
before the
courts are courts of justice. You have to listen to both sides. If you're the scale, because you see, the movement of the scale is dependent on the facts you put on it. If you want to buy, those days you guys are young, we used to buy meat when we were small boys. You go to purchase meat from the meat seller. They will put scale here. They will put meat on the other side. So if you put only scale, the thing will tilt to this side. If you put only meat, the thing will tilt to the other side. So you have to.
We need to balance the scale.
Yes.
I'm bringing you back here, Barrister Emmanuel. Say yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, Barrister Emmanuel Umoren has been here. Unfortunately, we're unable to deal with the meat of the matter, but we will bring him back next week on A's and Nays and have this conversation in its entireties. That way, you and I can talk, and you can call and ask all the necessary questions. Barrister Emmanuel, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you
all right.
for having me. Thank you so much.
Waiting do your face. My friend, see how you dey live fine. You don't buy car.